Morning you guys, today I have the final installment in my Empties. It's just makeup, all the makeup items that I have gone through in the last 9 months, 8 months, whatever it was I was away. I just wanted to, while I remember, talk about my hair again for a second, because I get asked probably about once every 2 months, somebody asks me to give you the colour that I dye my hair so that you can tell your hairdresser. That's normally what the question is. And so I just wanted to let you know, if in case you were wondering, this is my hair. This is not a hair colour. I haven't dyed my hair for several years. I did a remove all the colour thing because I used to dye it red at Christmas, and then I'd try and wash it out and it just wasn't washing out at all, so I would use one of those dye removers, which probably lightened it a bit, but then not that much, because you can see, like I said, I haven't dyed it in 3 years, and I don't think I've had a total renewal of my hair since then, and it all looks fairly similar. And if you look closely, you'll see, well, you don't even need to look closely to be honest, but you'll see my grey hairs if you pay attention. Okay, let's see if I can remember everything about these. I've just picked up all the sort of pencil things. The first thing is this NYX brow pencil. This one is in Taupe. I think Taupe's a really good colour for me. Today I've actually used the Anastasia brow powder just for a change, but I'm also using the brow pencil in chocolate. That one seems to work well for me as well. So I use either chocolate or Taupe, and I love these brow pencils by NYX. They seem to last a lot longer than the Anastasia ones. I remember I used to use the Anastasia one and it just seemed to run out so quickly. I've never actually looked at, to compare to see if there is more in it, but I do think they're really good, and that's my kind of everyday thing I use for the brow. I've got another brow thing in here actually. I've got this little, this is by Iconic London, and I think it's called Brow Glue or something like that, but it is a brow setting thing, and it is pretty good. I'm just going to use it because I did notice a couple of hairs falling this morning, even though I'd used my new favourite thing for the brows. It is good, but it's, again, pretty expensive, and I found a better one that I'll be talking about in my favourites. I can't even remember the brand to tell you just now, but it's because I don't use it that often. I only use it if, like today, I'm going to yoga and whatnot. I really want them to stay in place, Okay, so what are these? All eyeliners. Yeah, eyeliner pens, and these are eyeliner pencils. So I'm always on the search for a pencil that I can use in my upper waterline, well, either waterline, and that goes on really smoothly, that doesn't, some pencils you try to put in your waterline and no colour comes off. So I want a good colour payoff. I want it to be smooth and not like catch my eye, and I want it to stay, and I feel like that's almost an impossibility. But I tried the Urban Decay 24/7 waterline eyeline pencil. I've actually had this for a long time, but just hadn't properly tried it. And so because I had stopped wearing a lot of makeup last year when I stopped doing YouTube, and I was painting and whatnot, there was a few days where I was like, this is ideal. I've got no makeup on, I'm just going to put an eyeliner pencil on, and then if it goes under my eyes, I'll know that it was the eyeliner. And then I did the same with mascaras and things like that, and so I tried this 24/7 waterline, and it's definitely not. It completely smudges on me. Same with this Huda Beauty. I bought this more recently. It's a creamy coal. Does this actually say that it's long lasting? It doesn't, but I think I just thought, you know what, waterproof ones are not working for me, long lasting ones are not working, let me try something else. So I tried this creamy coal. It's really nice, but in the waterline it just goes under my eyes. So for me, there's no point. I never use a pencil anywhere else except in my waterline. The final one is the Milk Makeup, and this one is the best one I've found to date. This is actually the nude one, but I have used up a black one, but see this nude one, and I have repurchased the black one, and that's the one I've got on today. So I'm going to double check it today to see how it works with me going through yoga with makeup on. I'm also getting a massage later. I don't expect it to last through that though, a physio type massage, However, the reason that this one is in my empties and fails is because I've had it for so long, and I never ever use a nude waterline liner. It's just not something that I put on and go, oh yeah, that makes a huge difference for me. I see it on other people, but it's just not a step I can be bothered doing, to be honest. Okay, I've got two felt tip type liners, which is what I'm using at the moment. Actually, I've been just enjoying using one item for my eyeliner. So if you'll remember from the last time I did, I don't know, a Get Ready With Me or something like that, I talked about eyeliner. I normally use a liquid eyeliner over the main part of my eye, and then I'll use one of these type of felt pens, either with a brush or with a felt tip pen, to do the flick at the corner, because it's just much easier using one of these pens. But yeah, I found a couple of pens that I really liked and have tried and enjoyed, and they work for the whole eye. So the one I tried that I didn't like is the Milani one. This is the Milani The Tank eyeliner, and I just tried this a couple of days ago, and it's one of those that there's not enough colour comes out of it. Even if I was to use this to try and do my flick, there's just not enough colour coming out. It's, you know, you have to keep on going over and over, and you're ending up sort of pulling your eye. So that one was a fail for me. This one was really, really good. I've been using this for so long as well, actually. That's what I was using before I went to that Milani one. This is the Danessa Myricks. What is it even called? Line Work Onyx. So I'm going to kind of note that and see where, I don't even remember where I got that. I think it would have been like Cult Beauty or something like that. It looked fantastic, but it was really, really good. But I've got quite a few others to try, and if none of them work, I'll go back to that Danessa Myricks one, because it was really good. And like I said, it lasted a long time. I don't mean it lasted a long time on my eyes, it did, but it I've been using it for months and months, and I don't mind paying a bit more for something that doesn't just run out really quickly. In fact, there's something in here that I've got to talk about, which is that very thing. This is a lip gloss. Well, it's Glow Wish by Huda Beauty, and it is a kind of lip balm with colour. You can still see the colour in there, and I really enjoyed this. Really, really enjoyed it. You can see there's barely any colour, but I like that. It was absolutely luxurious feeling on the lips. Really nice to use, but there was hardly any of it. I mean, it must have lasted me a couple of weeks and it was gone. And when I had a look at it compared to a normal lip balm, it was like half the size for double the price, and I don't like that. That annoys me, so that's not a repurchase for me. One more eye item. This was a real disappointment, actually, but I got the NYX Jumbo pencil in, I don't know what colour this is. Let me show you what colour it is. It's a really nice colour, because you know how I've been really enjoying the Laura Mercier pen, the Caviar Stick, I think it's called, and I've got a couple from Kiko that I really enjoy, and I thought, well, let me try those NYX ones again, because I did try them years ago and for some reason didn't like them. So I got this one, and I have tried other ones as well, but I put this one on all over my lid, loved the look. In a couple of hours it was creased. So I used it again with a primer underneath, and again it was creased, and so that's no good for me. It's just I've got so many eyeshadows that I don't need to be using one that's going to look like that. It looked really awful. It just, you could see the white of my lid, you know, underneath it. And yeah, I normally hear people talking about these and how amazing they are and how well they stay. So I don't know whether they've changed the formula or whether just my eyes have changed, but they didn't stay for me at all. Then I've got this Revolution Eye Bright, it's called. It's a concealer with a sponge end, and I've completely used this up. There's nothing left at all. And I really like this. I hope this is still available, because I know in my last video, a couple of the things I spoke about, I then struggled to find for you guys. This one is in, I think it's in light, but I really like it. And I'm using it as well. Yeah, it's in light. I bought another one and I'm using that one at the moment. And that's what I've used under my eyes this morning. It's not the biggest amount of coverage. Let me put it on my hand so you can see there's still a little bit left on the brush, on the sponge. To me, this is a cruelty-free version of the Maybelline eye eraser, I think it's called. And you can see that there is coverage from that, but I've done a couple of layers on there, and that's what I have to do under my eyes. You know, I have to put one layer on and then put another layer on, but it's really good because it gives you some coverage over the whole thing, and then you can kind of add a little bit more there and add a little bit more there, and it doesn't sink into lines because it's so thin, but it's not going to give you a huge amount of coverage. So if you're wanting something to not sit in lines and you don't need too much coverage, this would be perfect. Like I said, I hope it's available. This is the Drunk Elephant D Bronzi Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. God, that's a mouthful, isn't it? I loved these, absolutely loved these. And this is something else that I feel like lasted me a long time. I don't know when I bought them, but I used them consistently for months and months and it didn't run out. And I would put my foundation on and then I'd put a couple of dots of this on a beauty blender and put them on my cheeks instead of using a powder bronzer. And I think it looked much nicer. I'm using one at the moment by, I think it's a brand called Be Perfect. And it's supposed to be a dupe for this, but I don't feel like it is. It's nice enough, but I don't get that same look when I put it on, and it doesn't seem to last as long on my skin, so I don't think it's the same colour. So I think I'm going to order these again because I've tried quite a few different bronzers. I do like the NYOD photography fluid. So actually maybe I need to use that one first because I'm sure I've still got that. and see how I feel compared to this. But this and the Nyod photography fluid are the ones that I've loved the most, and just really, I feel like brighten up my face, you know, or give it a warmth, not brighten it up, give it a warmth. 3 foundations and 2 powders to talk about. The first foundation is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. This is in 008 Fair Beige. I've actually bought another one of these, and this was my second one, I think. Was it? Or did I just have 2 colours? Anyway, I do really like this, and I bought another one. I couldn't find Fair Beige, so I've got one called Light something, maybe Light Beige. Might have got it off Just My Look is normally where I would get it, but I really like this. It is very, very thin, but it's got a medium coverage, I would say, and you can build it up to full coverage. So it's a really nice everyday foundation. I don't love the dropper because it's one of those that, well, there's nothing coming out of it now, but I don't know, I just feel like it's quite messy, the bottle, but I do really like the foundation, and it's, you know, great price being Catrice, so I love that. In here is the Sculpted by Amy Satin Silk Foundation. You may remember me reviewing this. I definitely did a review. Love the bottle, love that it's got the pump top. You know, that's my preferred way of applying foundation. And I really liked this when I got it, but it just doesn't last very well on me at all. It sort of migrates and goes patchy. And it's just, you know, it's an expensive foundation. And I wanted to use it all up because it was expensive, you know. But when I think I got this at the same time I got the KVD serum, Good Apple serum foundation, which is what I'm wearing today and what I wear most of the time. And when I got that Good Apple one and realised how long that stayed looking flawless versus this, I was just like, no, life's too short. I'm not even going to use this up because it's just very quickly goes patchy on me and I don't like it at all. And then the final foundation in here that I used up is the Insta Moisture by Kiko. I don't know if they still do this, but it is one I would repurchase. The problem with this is lack of colours. You know, there's like maybe 6 colours or something. It's a really small colour pool. And I also don't go to Kiko very often, and there's nothing else that I can think of that I need to order from there that I would ever want to do like a big order, you know. So yeah, it is something I would repurchase. Like I said, it's a nice foundation. It's the moisture part of it that I loved. I remember my skin was dry, and this was one of the first kind of moisturising foundations that I bought, and I really enjoyed it from that point of view. It doesn't like stick to any dry patches. It makes your skin feel really comfortable, but it's also a nice medium coverage, but it's not cakey at all, you know, it's not thick. Really nice. It is one I would recommend if they still do it. Finally, makeup wise, I have 2 powders to talk about, very different powders. One's pressed, one's loose. This pressed powder is by HNB Cosmetics, and it's a pink powder, and I have seen pink powders being used all over TikTok and Instagram, etc., saying, oh, you have to try pink powder. Every time I used this, I noticed throughout the day, I'd look in the mirror and think, God, you look a bit ill, what's wrong with you? You know, so pink powder is just not for me. So there's nothing wrong with this powder at all. I've got other colours in it and I'm enjoying it, but pink powder is not for me at all. This powder, however, this is the Revolution Lace Powder. I think they still do this, and I have loved this for many years actually. It says baking powder lace. I think lace might be the colour. Yeah, lace is the colour because they do banana. Do they still do lace? That's the question. But I do like this translucent powder. I never use it from here. I always tip it into some of the other like little containers that I've got, but I have always loved the Revolution, all of their powders actually. I don't really like a loose powder. I'm trying to use up the loose powders that I've got, but I just feel they're so messy, and yeah, they're not my favourite. I prefer a pressed powder. That's everything makeup, but while I'm here I might as well talk about the 3 skincare things I threw in this box recently. The first one is the Bondi Sands Light and Dreamy Lightweight Gel Moisturiser. Really, really like this. I always try to leave a little bit in the bottom because, well, sometimes it's just because I'm too impatient to move on to the next thing, and sometimes it's so I can show you what it looks like. That's what that looks like. It is actually a gel cream. A lot of things to me say gel cream, and then they look and feel like a gel, a cream. They don't look like gel at all. This one is a gel cream for sure, more a gel than a cream actually, and it says lightweight, which it is, but it's also very, very hydrating. I've really, really enjoyed using this. I've been using this as a night cream. Now I normally buy this type of thing to put on top of like serums or whatever else I'm putting on my skin, oils. And so if I'm putting it on top of an oil, it's just going to seal that oil in and make it not so, you know, not get on my hair as much, that kind of thing. It's not going to probably penetrate the oil, so I don't necessarily need anything in my final cream that I put on. But when I get something like this that I'm using in that way, I will also test it just on its own on nights that I'm maybe being lazy or whatever. So I have tested this a few times and just used it as literally taking my makeup off, run my micellar water over, and then put this on, and it feels really nice. My skin didn't feel tight or dry or anything like that, so it was really nice. Really enjoyed that. Then I got these two little Dermalogica things in a little set. I think I might have got it off TikTok, a little Dermalogica set. I don't know why I was so curious about this, because I'm sure I've tried this. I've definitely tried it, but I'm sure I've tried it more than once and thought it sounds lovely. It's the Daily Microfoliant, and I know that people love this. It says brightening rice-based product, a powder exfoliant. So it is a powder. So you tip the powder out like so, and then you mix a bit of water in it. Actually, you know what? That will have felt nicer if I just used the powder. I wonder if I could do that. No, might be a bit too rough, eh? I wonder if like because the idea is you make it into a sort of foam. But to me, whenever I put a bit of water on it, I felt nothing on my skin at all. Nothing from this. And like I said, I know that people love it. So maybe I'm using it wrong. Maybe I do just need to use a little bit of powder, but I feel like if I put that in my hand and tipped it up, the powder would just fall off, if you know what I mean. I would have to like sprinkle it on my face like that. Let me know what you think of this, because there's still quite a lot in there. I tried it a couple of times and I was just like, it doesn't feel like anything on my skin at all. I don't feel any benefit. This one, however, I love. This is the Oil to Foam Total Cleanser. I was really surprised with this because I used it to take off my eye makeup and my eyes didn't sting at all. And I don't know why I was expecting them to, but I suppose because there's not many things you can use, especially if they've got foam in, you know, a foam element to them that are not going to sting your eyes. But it didn't sting my eyes at all. It was a really nice feeling on the skin, took off all of my makeup. My eyes weren't blurry afterwards, you know, despite this being a kind of oil to foam. Let's see if there's any left. Let's see if I can show you. Maybe a little bit. You can see it's just very, very oily, but it does very quickly go to foam when you mix it with water. I really enjoyed that, and I was like, wow, that was a really nice cleanser. I probably wouldn't buy it, to be honest, because Dermalogica are crazy expensive, and you know, I would buy, I've got a face mask that I use from Dermalogica that I use if I'm trying to heal blemishes and stuff like that, and I would maybe buy a moisturizer as a kind of treat at some point, or I'd buy little sets like that, but I probably wouldn't buy a cleanser because it's gonna, you know, you're going to use it up pretty quickly. But that was really nice. Okay, so that's me finally showed you all my empties. I can start just filling it up again until we've got a normal empties back again. Next, I do have so many things I want to talk to you about. I'm trying 3 different SPFs at the moment, so I need to kind of do my research on those, do my notes on those, and talk to you about them. And I really want to do a favourites for you, because there's a few things that I've found, like kind of across the board, you know, for makeup and hair and skincare and all of that, that are really good, that I've really been enjoying. So I want to do a favourites for you. I also need to do an Amazon favourites for you, because I have bought some really, really good things from Amazon. I would normally do my Amazon favourites on the Life as a Zebra channel, and I don't wish I didn't have 2 channels. There was a very specific reason I had the other channel. By the way, I don't think all of you are aware I have this other channel. It's called Life as a Zebra. The reason it's called that is that zebras are, in the medical industry, you are taught to think horses, not zebras. So meaning that normally it will be a common illness, if you like, rather than a rare illness. And so people with rare illnesses are considered zebras. And so people that have Ehlers-Danlos, among our community, I have Ehlers-Danlos, we call ourselves zebras. So it was Life as a Zebra. So the idea of the channel was for it to be health related, and everything health related, and everything kind of life related that wasn't beauty, and beauty was on this channel. But I wanted to put videos up on there. Like, I've put videos up about my struggle with the bladder situation, and I've had different bladder procedures and whatnot. And I didn't necessarily want them popping up on a Beauty Maverick channel, because this was a channel that way back when my colleagues and whatnot watched, you know. And so I thought, if somebody was specifically looking for it, I didn't talk about my other channel at work. I knew that there was many of my colleagues followed me on the Beauty Maverick, or it was actually called Mrs. Ginger at the time. And like I said, I didn't really want somebody seeing all of that, but if somebody was looking for, say, bladder installations, which I had, I wanted them to be able to find the video. So that's why I did it on a separate channel. And there's so much on there now that, you know, I wouldn't want to close it down. Anyway, that was a long-winded thing just to say that I might have an Amazon video on the other channel, and if I do, I'll let you know about it. But tell me what you'd like to see next year. Are you more interested in the favourites, or do you want me to start going through the SPF stuff? Or maybe I'll do one SPF and then try and do a favourites and then do the other SPF, something like that. Let me know anyway. And the other thing I wanted to ask you guys is let me know if there are any foundations that you have, like new foundations that you like. I'd really like to see that reviewed, or any new foundations that you recommend. I've not watched videos. I've not watched YouTube since I left YouTube last year. You know, well, there are things I look up, but not, I can't remember the last time I watched a beauty video. I very rarely watch them. If I do, I might look in the comments or the description and see the products that they're talking about. So say if they say the best of Amazon, I might have a look, especially if it's Angie from Hot and Flashy. I just always have a look because I know she's got good recommendations. But so I've missed out. I don't know if there's any new foundations. I haven't been to the shops and had a look. Let me know if there's any new foundations you recommend or want reviewed. That's everything. Do you know what? I hate my hair doing this. I don't know why it does this, but I'm constantly doing this throughout the video because it drives me out. I like it like that. I don't know why it ends up like all messy and in the middle there. That's a bit OCD, that, isn't it? Let me tell you what I've got on. I've got on the KVD foundation. I don't know the colour, I'm afraid. I love that foundation, the Good Apple Serum Foundation. It's amazing. On my eyes is a palette that I've just bought by Melt Cosmetics. I bought it from Beauty Bay. I was ordering those SPFs and I saw this palette and I was like, that looks really, really nice. It's mostly matte. There's just 3 non-mattes in it and the rest are mattes. I think it's called... No, I'm not going to guess because I'll get it wrong. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, any matte palette would pretty much do this look. I don't find myself being that adventurous with eyeshadows anymore. On my cheeks is a blush that I don't think is available, and it's another KVD one. It's in Rosebud. I don't think it's now available. I can't find it anywhere. On my lips is a Stila liquid lipstick in Perla. And that's everything. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.